sa Benny Boom Beat.
All right, friends, we're back with another how-to tutorial. I'm gonna work on another ring. This is an idea that I've never done before, but I think what I'm gonna do is, it's gonna be, the interesting part of this is gonna be, well, everything's gonna be interesting, but the ring shank, the style that I want to do is similar to this bracelet that I made for Gonzalez of P Street Revival. When I made her bracelet, I did kind of these arcs with stamping in them, but it was a bracelet, so they were about 1/4 of an inch, maybe more than 1/4 of an inch wide each band. I'll show you a picture of it so you can see what it looks like. But I want to make a ring shank in that style. We're going to do the ring shank in this really cool design. I'm going to make a bunch of strips, some of them wider, maybe all around the same width, and then we're going to stamp them. And when we stamp them, they're going to naturally start to curve. All right, guys, I was going to score these strips so they're all exactly the same, but what fun is that? You know what I mean? I like them when they're not exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut. Oh, that might be too thin. I'm going to cut some strips. 3. Will 3 be interesting, or will 4 be more interesting? I say 4. Comedy, they use rules of 3, but in native culture, we go by rules of 4 when it comes to the 4 directions, the sacred stuff, you know? 4 elements of nature. So we're gonna go 4. So I didn't mention that was 26 gauge, which is pretty thin, very malleable, but probably kind of delicate. So we want to stamp it with caution. Get my rawhide mallet and make these kind of flat. This is the stamp that I'm going to be using. Hope you can focus. It's kind of like a flathead screwdriver edge. And originally when I purchased these stamps, they were this was really sharp. So what I did is I just sanded it a little bit, and then I put it on my little buffing wheel. Because as sharp as this was, this would just pierce something this thin. Alright, so if you were me, which you're glad you're not, how would you try to get this straight again? Anneal it maybe and try to bend it? So real quick, I'm going to anneal it and try to bend it. If you're new to annealing, once you work harden the metal, if you want to start messing with it without getting brittle, you need to heat it up to its glowing red, and then it loosens up the molecules and allows you to continue working on the metal without risk of it cracking on you. So this is the progress that I made, and basically I just put it on the edge of the block here and just kind of hit it like that. See how much of an arc it was, and now it's starting to get like that. So we're getting... What does your artistic eye say about that? You might think it's ugly, might not think it's ugly. I don't know. I think it's cool. But I'm weird. That's the makings of the beginning of the shank. Dude, I don't even know if that's long enough. I didn't even measure it to see. I'm not making this for anyone, so sometimes when I don't make it for someone, I don't really care too much about the length of the shank, because if it's a size 6, it's a size 6. If it's a size 8, it's a size 8. If it's a size 9, it's a size 9. The little finger people and the big finger people all need love, you know? Shoot. All right, friends. So what I did was I just sanded inside the middles of each of these. Having as clean a surface as you can when you're soldering ensures that your solder is going to run and you're going to have a good join. They call it a join, not a joint. Those are different, but I'm surgically placing these. So I'm one of those artists that is like, I don't overthink stuff because it stifles my creative process. Ooh, that's cool. Okay. I'm seeing it. I think I saw the solder do its thing that fast. Wait a minute. I put one of these the wrong way. That's supposed to be on the outside. But, you know, to have 3 stamped and then 1 clean and then 1 clean, that might be cool, man. So we give it a little bend. I can feel it's thick, man. It's thick there in the middle. I put a boom there, and I learned not to do that because it gets chewed up. You know, whenever you're like working on the farm, you know, wearing your bossy jewelry, you're working on the farm. A track field shape look cool? That'd be bossy. That'd be for a chick that is like, can fight good or thinks she can fight good. So every chick, don't generalize, Ben. Don't generalize. Looks like a track. I used to run track in high school. I ran the 400 meters and I had the school record. It's since been destroyed, but my cousin Damien now has the record, and he hasn't even had his senior year yet. So he broke my record his junior year, and now he's gonna break his own record. All right, kids, we got a track. Oh, dude, really? So should I do a stone or should I do like some silver abstract on it? Let's go silver abstract. So I'm gonna bend this, but before I bend it, I'm gonna stamp boom right there. Then I'm gonna bend it like I'm about to bend a taco shell. But I'm not gonna bend the taco shell very taco-y, only kind of taco-y. Instead of it being flat right there, it'll be curved, which may feel a little bit more comfortable on the finger. Okay, gang stars, we have this block that I got. I've had this block since I first started doing jewelry. I bought this. It came in one of the kits that you starting out being a jewelry designer kit. I'm gonna do a bend on this, and I'm gonna use this big one. We don't have all the answers, friends. So one way I'm going to do this, I thought like that, if I just hit that hard. I'm not trying to go heavy metal on it or nothing, or hardcore. I'm just trying to get a little bit of a bend. Okay, friends, this is where I'm at now. I have the stamp in the back, got the track field, the track thing bent kind of like a taco. You can tell by the contour and the light there. I've imagined what would look cool. Because it's long and the energy kind of feels like it wants to flow that way, you know? But like this kind of energy, we already have this kind of energy going this way, and then to juxtapose. Is that a word too big for me? All right, MC Hammer Pants, we're going with, if you get that reference, you probably need to not forget to take your heart medication. So do I know what I'm doing? No, not really. Doesn't bother me. Never did. Never bothered me, friends. We are artists over here. And we are of the new generation. We're like, oh gosh. Did I almost say Pepsi? The choice of a new generation. The commercial that came out in 1989. Oh. I think I am not of the new generation if I know that reference. Dun, dun, dun. You see what I'm doing there, friends? I zoomed way in, so you probably didn't see any of that. You know, you see it's just my crusty fingernails. Man, I need to lick my fingers. You know how whenever your girlfriend starts yelling at you and you know she's right, but you just are trying to throw her off? You just say, like, right in the middle of it, she's like, did you leave the toilet seat up again just to spite me? And you did, you know, but you don't want to admit it, so you just look at her and you say, you need to lick your lips. And then she'll stop whatever she's saying and lick her lips, because females are a little bit self-conscious about that. Dude, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this, man, because this kind of looks like it could be a disaster. A mess, if you will. Give me some feedback, guys. When I do like fusing, do I need flux when I fuse? In the comments, any smiths out there that know about that, because I don't know if I just flux even when I'm fusing just because it's a comfort thing, or if it's really needed. So I'm just gonna drop a couple balls of solder in there, so when it starts to fuse, some of that solder will clamp it to the bottom plate. And I don't think this is actually authentically fusing if I'm using solder. So I just use that term because I think the top pieces up here will fuse. Yeah, it's okay. I'm cool with that. There we go. Okay. We're gonna accept that. I lost some of the shape. It's not as, because it got so hot. It's pretty cool looking. And it's not so thick that I won't be able to like form this still a little bit without, it's probably gonna work out. I mean, it always does. I don't know how, but it always seems to work out. And this is what we have. I have some negative space in there, if you guys can see that. Little negative space in there, which I like. Where the shiny is, I don't know if you guys can see this, but where the shiny is, that's where it's gonna make good contact. So we'll take it off the thing so you guys can see what's going down. This is where it's gonna connect on that side. This is where it's gonna connect on this side. And I'm gonna put some flux. And this is gonna sit down. I'm gonna press it a little bit. I'm gonna get it hot, put the solder in the appropriate spots. I'm not gonna be as messy as I was on the Lunalicious ring, because I watched that video and I was like, yo, I was so messy with my solder. That was super whack. Like, I can do so much better. This time I'm gonna be more present with placing the solder, heating the stuff, and just going with it. I'm not gonna really care too much about the camera, because this takes a lot of concentration and you really need to be present. That's why it's so stressful. It's a stressful process to me, but any other silversmiths out there, if it doesn't stress you out, or if it does, share the sentiment. If you share the sentiment, let me know. If you don't, let me know how you chill yourself out, or if maybe you're just built that way. I don't know, but soldering to me has always been kind of stressful. So I'm using this crack in my block. I have this crack that's kind of good for putting little parts like this in. Look on the left, look on the right, equal gap on each side of the arc of the shank. Ready to go in. I use acetylene, just acetylene with the nozzle has the automatic air feed or whatever. Old school. Tip number 7 on this one. Let me know what tip numbers you guys use. I know for the Smith's torches they use like the 1 or whatever, like the really small one. But let me know what you guys use. There's a better tip that I could be using. Okay, I think I got that. Now we're gonna flip it around so we can have access to this side. Living free is it's an act of rebellion, friends. So if you're a rebel, what I just did. Okay, we're gonna put this hot in the acid. I learned a tip from somebody else. They said if you put it, I mean, you don't want to breathe the fumes, but put it in the pickle hot, and then it goes faster. Let's see. Oh, hold your breath. Hold your breath. Ventilation, open the door. Are y'all ready? Let's see what we got here. This is essentially it out of the pickle, but that's it right there, friends. Pretty clean on the inside. Some sanding and some smoothing out. everything's stuck the way that I wanted it to. I don't know if you guys can see that. But just a little cleanup and rain the money, honey.
He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul.
Baby, this my introduction. This my introduction.
This is a movement.
Used to have a tape on.
Now going wild. What the hell is loud? Boom, boom, make it greater. Make it greater. Something we can rock up. Something we can rock up.
He restoreth my soul.
About to be, but still presently in the moment, baby, live forever free. True, baby, keeping it cool. Let it do what it do. I only true with a few. Bam, boom, baby, always something shiny and new.